Alright guys, welcome back to another video. We're going to this Plat 4 1LP. We just got promoted off that last win. And we're actually on a 4-game win streak technically. Because a while back, like a week or so, I accidentally queued into a solo duo game that I thought was ranked flex. And I am my butt off on some Mumu jungle. So we technically do have a loss from that. I wasn't even recording because I didn't realize I was playing solo duo. It was like after a dodge, and when I like reloaded into the game, I either bumped like the wrong queue or it like reset what queue I was into, and when I reloaded the client. But so in terms of the series, we're on a 6-game win streak. Been feeling pretty good about it. Staying around like 7 farm. 7 CS per minute. And this AD build has just been awesome. Feels so good to be back on AD again after they removed Divine Sunder after having like nerfed that item a bunch of times. And it just kind of reminds me of when like that came out and like it was like super strong. So if you're new here, the build that we've been going recently has been Sundered Sky into Eclipse, which is just a really broken combo right now in terms of like items in general. And on Akali, it takes a little bit of work to make like efficient, but it has a really high ceiling of like how well it can do. And what's great is that ceiling is based more off of like skill of how you're playing in that moment rather than like how fed you happen to be. Because as soon as like you hit the baseline items, you're really strong. Unlike like with AP where you have to like get the Magi's and get kills specifically.
Double kill. Can't stop what's coming.
And if you're playing another champion, or like you're playing like in a lane where there's no poke, what's also really strong is if you go for Domination Tree second, or say you probably want to be running Conquer on whoever you're building this on.
Okay.
But so you go Domination second, and you take Ingenious Hunter, and it takes the cooldown on your Sundered Sky. Ooh. He's dead. Haha! Yep, as soon as we see him on that little health threshold, what we're doing is we line up our right click to do the auto, because we had our empowered auto already stacked up. What's great is even though we're on 80, we're still gonna get that dark seal, you know? If we find a Magi, so there's no problem with that. But so we wanna line up that right click and our ignite. So we have our 2 like point click things like ready to go, and we buffer that auto attack before we press flash, and then we do our Q is the last thing. Because if you flash in first and then you try to click on her, you're gonna have a little bit of a harder time. And it gives her just a little bit more of a reaction time to be able to like flash away or do something. I'm pretty sure she used her flash earlier, so in this case she probably couldn't have, but it's just kind of a general tip for how you want to like finish off a lot of your early kills on Akali. And then that threshold where you can like get that kill is going to be a little bigger if you're running something like Electrocute. But personally, I prefer Conquer. So if you're going this build with the Sundered Sky into Eclipse, so really strong if you take Ingenious Hunter. Because normally Sundered Sky has a 6-second cooldown per champion. But with the Ingenious Hunter, once it's fully stacked, it goes down to 4 seconds. And so you just start healing like crazy. Because if you think about, like, if you're like attacking each champion like once per second, now you're getting a proc of it every single second, and it's just kind of hits this breaking point where it's just OPs. Oh man. And it affects your Eclipse shield as well. It's just too much. They gotta do something about it. But I mean, if they don't want to do something about it, I'm happy to keep abusing it. Okay, so jungle's topside. We're gonna ping this guy back. See, he get ganked. Well, we have a little free time here. Was just gonna look for the ward, but then Jinx stepped up really aggressively. Ah! Awkward. Got rooted right as I was trying to throw out my E. You can't do the first part of it while you're rooted. But if you can get it out before the root, then you can just like take the E2 afterwards and it's a lot easier to catch up. Let's see. Honestly, I think we're just gonna go for the Ionian boots this game. There's nothing I really want to. Oh, that's why I'm crazy. I was like, where are my items? Game thinks I want to build AP. Just gonna keep some vision up on Kane's camp so we know if he's gonna be doing anything bot side. So I kind of don't want to walk towards top because we don't see Kane bot side, which means there's a solid chance he's top side. I think I'm gonna have a hard time holding this, so I'm just gonna clear it and take the neutral reset the wave here. Okay, yeah. We don't want to really bother doing anything bot side right now because our jungle is top side. We're kind of playing for grubs. We know Kane's down there. Kind of a dangerous side of the map to go to. Just gonna stay here, chill in mid lane, and make sure this Syndra doesn't contest void grubs. Just gonna RE out of here. Ah. Dang. I think I R'd into the Maokai ult. Dang. I kinda didn't see it, I'm not gonna lie. There's just a lot going on in terms of like particle effects. I think it was like down at the corner of my screen.
Okay.
It's not the killing you, it's the cause.
So if you guys are sitting there being like, how can I be better than Hilarious? How can I live that gangster? I think what have to do is we would have had to have like we ult that Maokai the same way, but instead of looking to immediately E, we have to like flash over his ult, and then we can E. So I thought I could hold my flash and do that one after, because usually the RE is pretty smooth. But if I'm getting caught from my E in the root, it can end up being a problem. As you've seen. Oh wow, I was about to say, we're kind of weak right now in terms of like, this point right before we've finished our item, like these components aren't like the best, but then once we actually finish our Sundered Sky, we're really strong. We're also weak in the sense that Syndra just has a full item, and boots.
An ally has been slain.
Oh man, we're a bit off. Might just give this. Okay, no, we're running. Briar's going. Okay, this guy entered. Nice. So like, I didn't want to take a fight there. Alright, like, we weren't super strong. And like Syndra was, right? But, also our team like sort of wasn't there at the beginning. But it's important to recognize when somebody finds like a nutty angle, you can do anything. And like that's the nutty angle right there, is that Briar ult. And we're getting there before the Syndra. So that's like why we were able to do it, even though we were behind. So we'll grab these because our next thing is Eclipse. And something I was looking for as I was going in was like, I was looking to either like R flash to get on someone like very quickly, or I was looking to R like the Maokai or the Kayn, and then flash to extend that R1 over onto the Jinx. So those are like kind of the two main ways we can be using our flash to extend our range. Is either extending where R1's starting from, or where we're gonna like extend our R1 to, like in terms of just like getting into a fight. We're already in it. We can save and just hold on to the fight. Hold on to our flash. And it can be useful to extend our R2 or change the direction of our R2. But it's less of a worry on AD Akali, because that's kind of the weakest part of AD Akali's kit. Okay, we're gonna try to get some autos, heal up. Okay. Bit of an ambitious play. I got caught out at the beginning of that fight, so we were starting at like 1 HP. Fortunately, this guy healed so much. This item is healed us for 1,000 health. That's almost half of our health pool. We've only had it for that one fight. Yeah, so we effectively had 3,500 health in that fight, which is huge. But so it started off really bad, getting caught out. And then it was a bit ambitious to go back in. But I was kind of concerned about how that fight was going to end up going. And I wanted to make sure they didn't have like enough people that they could like steamroll us. And I think it worked out. I was able to get Syndra, so like the mid lane just kind of like stayed even with like the minions and like where the waves were, and also just in terms of like fedness. Okay, so she ulted bot. What is this guy doing? He just tried to W my cannon. Huh? Okay. Spawning? Okay. This guy's gonna get pinched if we don't step up.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Okay, we're kind of just out positioning the Syndra. Fortunately, this like big fat chunk of wall kind of getting in her way there. Throw forward down. Actually, we want to be heading bot here. Did I bump my controller? I didn't have a control word. I'm actually crazy. So yeah, turret's been broken. So we have now moved into mid-game, and laning phase is over. Which is when we want to get ourselves in a side lane. And maybe do a little skirmishing. Maybe. We're kind of inting. Oh, so close. As soon as we left that circle, we'd be able to reach Jinx. I lost track of my cooldown on the Kayn. I couldn't remember if I was going to be able to get the proc on him. That's definitely a hard part about this build. It's like keeping like track mentally of who you're like off cooldown for, because it's not like a Sheen item or something where you can like look and just see like, is it on cooldown, like is it glowing, like is it ready, like you just have to know, and that's pretty hard. But I don't know, hopefully we'll just continue to get better at that. And now we're on our core items done, so we've got our Center Sky and our Eclipse, and we should just be like crazy strong now. So our 2-item combo should just be better than other people's 2-item combos.
The fist of shadow is my law.
I also think that last fight was probably a really bad idea that I had like, the way I R2'd back in, it took me away from my teammate, and Kane had already ulted me, so it brought him with me, so it kind of like prolonged it being a 1v3 fight instead of it being like a 2v3. You want to be trying to like isolate portions of a fight and take like little 1v1s and things inside of them. Whoa, what was that? Why did I ult? Huh? Dang, I pressed R on him, okay, I understand. So I pressed R on him before, I was actually, like, able to ult, because I was rooted. But, because I was rooted, I didn't cancel my ult by, like, doing a movement input. Because I was rooted, I couldn't move. And so it just kept that, like, queued up. So I just did it, like, as soon as I could. The same way, like, how if you right-click on a person, if you're gonna auto-attack them, you get rooted. And then the root wears off, you're gonna, like, go back to trying to auto-attack them. Okay, and so we got 800, so we're gonna get our Kindle Gem. So our third item is Spear of Shojin. So item has a lot of just like good stats on it, honestly. It's got AD, it's got ability haste. And ability haste, even though like it's not the best stat for Akali, she definitely doesn't mind having it. Because once you get like as tanky as you do on this kind of build, you're in a fight long enough where like a 12-second cooldown on Shroud, like you can start using another Shroud. And as it gets even lower, like you can be using like even like a third Shroud sometimes in like a really long fight. And those little things just kind of add up, having extra abilities. Oh my gosh, man. Okay, she went back to mid. But along with having good stats, the other thing that Spirit Trojan gives us is this really sick passive. So spell hits stack for 6 seconds up to 4, and then you deal percent increased damage from your like abilities. It's like our Q goes from doing 300 to doing for each stack, so it's 3 times 4, so 12% more damage. So it's like an extra like 30 damage. A little bit more than that, but on there. And we get that on like all our abilities. That's a risky fight. Okay, Briar's cleaning up. It's kind of a messy game, but hopefully it'll work out for us. We went for like a little trick where, so when Maokai W's, he goes untargetable, which means you can't hit him with your E. So over here, I was trying to aim to like hit Jinx as she was running in, so I could hopefully like leave the Maokai once the route was over and like fly over to her. But she didn't get into range. I kind of misjudged how fast she was going. And I sort of just took like, I knew like I had that option, and I had like the option of like waiting and like, or like even eating like sooner to hit the Maokai like before he was in range to W. And as soon as I saw people, I sort of like chose one of my options from a Rolodex, and it probably was not the right one, given that she was not in range. Oh. I feel like I've been seeing Maokai a ton in my games recently. Okay, spell shield. No, we didn't. I'm crazy. Why am I so slow? What? What was that? Huh. Maybe that was our W. No, I didn't get hit by our W. I'm pretty sure I got hit by the Kane W, like, after I was slowed. I don't know. Yeah. So after Shojin, we're going to be going for a Rift Maker. So we're going to be getting a little AP. And what's cool is, like, our kit, instead of like having a part of our kit that scales off of AP and like a part that scales off of AD, it basically all scales off of both. And so we can like add them together and it's like no biggie. Same way like how when Gunblade was in the game, you just bought that every game because you scale off both stats like really well. And then that one just gave like the most overall stats. But it was like split like down the middle between like AP and AD. So we'll be going for that. And that'll be giving us even more healing, and it'll be giving us damage amp. Where like, kind of similar to our Shojin, but instead of like landing spells, making our spells do more, it's just being in combat with champions. And then all our damage gets amplified. So it works on like our item procs and our like autos and our passive and stuff too. Not really sure if my passive gets increased by Shojin or not. I don't know if it's considered an ability for that. Oh no, I missed. Okay, we've got our shroud back up. Okay, Jinx is down. We're looking.
It's not the kill shut down, it's the cause.
Okay. So right now we kind of have a crazy amount of ability haste. 73, which is 43% CDR. So 43% of like the cooldown has been removed from our abilities. Which is very close to the old cap of 45%. If you had like the rune to increase it to 45. Because the base cap was dodge that. Base cap was 40. There we go. Just gonna give him a little extra damage. Before the king can get there. Ah! I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too comfy. I was kind of sitting there thinking about some other stuff, thinking about how we got the dragon, what I was gonna say about that in terms of commentary. I didn't really think too hard about sitting in the pit against like potentially 5 people. Probably should have just ulted out instead of like fishing to see what could happen. Because like everybody else on the other side of the wall, kind of hard for anybody to follow up. This game's a little close for me to be fishing for stuff like that. Maybe if we were like behind, and I actually wanted to take like a risky play to try to like get ourselves back in it, because I didn't think we were gonna win otherwise. But in a game like this, where it's like pretty close, it's better to just play like consistently and patiently and see what your teammates end up doing. Because us playing off each other is gonna be the easiest way to win. And you can't guarantee what your teammates are gonna do. Because like right there, like part of it is also like, what's gonna happen with like what my teammates do? Like, can they follow up? I don't know. But if you see a teammate's already doing something, you can guarantee they're gonna do it. And then you just have to control yourself, which you can actually do. And then you can guarantee like that both of you guys are on the same page. Okay, we need to be at 1300 for the mask component.
The old ways just don't work.
Probably gonna get stunned right here.
An enemy has been slain.
Okay, we go. Fire ult has been landed. Her shove is down. Did she flash that? Looks like she did. Oh, dang. That's rough. Honestly, well played from Syndra there. That was a really good stopwatch. Good flash, too. I probably should have just turned around immediately. As soon as she stopwatched and, like, caught up to the Alawi. Thought my team would be okay for a second. Oh, well. Pretty good game. Feel like we got some good little tips and tricks out of it, at least. Let's see you guys in the next one.